Let me ask you about Weiss that you had an opportunity to grill today, because we learned from the IRS whistleblowers, and they took contemporaneous notes that Mr. Weiss said he had no power to bring any charges, investigative charges, to Hunter Biden in jurisdictions outside of his own. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't Mr. Weiss and didn't Merrick Garland testify to just the opposite?
Yeah, Merrick Garland said he had ultimate authority. In fact, David Weiss this summer told us 3 different things in a 33-day time period. June 7th, he writes me and says, I have ultimate authority to determine when, where, and whether to bring charges. June 30th, he writes me again and says, well, no, actually, I don't. My authority is limited to my U.S. Attorney's District, the District of Delaware. And then July 10th, he writes Lindsey Graham, the ranking member on the Senate Judiciary Committee, and says, well, I've not sought special counsel authority, but I've had discussions with the Department of Justice. Now, today, under oath, he said something different, because he was directly asked, did you ever seek special attorney status? And his response was yes, as I pointed out earlier today, yes, in the spring of 2022. So he sought it, but was never actually given that. And yet he maintained somehow that, oh, I still had the authority, even though I asked for it, and even though they never gave it to me, somehow he still had it. So his story doesn't stack up. But the guy's story who does hold true and has never wavered is Gary Shapley and Mr. Ziegler, the whistleblowers. And everything we learned today further confirms what Mr. Shapley and Mr. Ziegler have come forward and told us. And remember, Sean, they stood up to a couple hours of cross-examination from Democrats in the Oversight Committee. And again, their story has checked out with every witness that we've deposed.
Okay, so that means that before Congress, one side lied and one side told the truth. Both sides can't be telling the truth. Now, I tend to believe the whistleblowers, the ones that took contemporaneous notes, and I tend not to believe the people that we know that have been active and involved in protecting all things Biden family. So I thought if you lied before Congress, you can get arrested for that and be charged for that. Am I wrong?
Yeah, you can. It's tough to prove, but it sure looks like Merrick Garland misled us. I think David Weiss certainly misled us with his initial response to me on June 7th this summer, because that changed, as I said, in a 1-month time period. And what he said today didn't back up what he told us in those letters this summer.
When will we get the transcribed interview in full?
In a couple days. It'll be ready in a couple days, and we will make that available. So people can, there was a lot of questions he wouldn't answer. He stuck to this issue of authority, but there was a lot of questions where he just didn't answer. So there's going to be a lot of that in the transcript. But where he did, I think it totally confirmed other witnesses that we've talked to, and of course what Mr. Shapley and Mr. Ziegler have testified to. Their story has never wavered. Their testimony has never changed. The White House has changed multiple times about this investigation. And of course, the Justice Department has changed their story multiple times as well.